You ever hear of Carpe Donktum? He's made a couple memes that Trump has shared. And Trump recently shared another meme where Joe Biden gropes Joe Biden. Or as the New Yorker says, fondling himself. If that's how you want to frame it. Here's the thing. I made a video like a week ago talking about how the left was doing meme research. My God, please listen. There's one thing that I think separates the left from the right, as it's colloquially called, but not entirely accurate. It has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with social justice. It has to do with the ability to understand what a meme is. For real, the left can't meme. But here's the thing. They say the left can't meme because whatever this tribe is, for the most part, doesn't have the ability to understand or create memes. It is a group of people that can't grasp meme technology. And I know that sounds silly, but I literally mean like the cultural development in our society of where the meme comes from, of what memes can be. They just can't do it. They lack that understanding. So there was a story where it was Mother Jones, where they were trying to analyze and break down, essentially reverse engineer a meme to understand it. They couldn't get it. Look what they said. Excuse me. Trump tweets doctored video of Joe Biden. Heavens, a doctored video. Joe Biden posted a 2-minute long video this week, not apologizing for the way he's interacted with women. We get it, Joe. He's not sorry. Okay. On Thursday, the president tweeted a parody version of the video edited with photos of Joe Biden, making it to appear like he's massaging his own shoulders and kissing his own neck. Why are they calling it doctored? Now, you may be saying, no. They don't mean anything bad by it. Do you know what the definition of doctored is? I have it pulled up just in case. Doctored. Change the content or appearance of a document or picture in order to deceive. Yes. Let me ask you this. Was Trump trying to deceive people into believing that Joe Biden was actually groping Joe Biden? No, it's a joke. It's a meme. The media is doing one of two things. Do you know what Hanlon's razor is? Never attribute to malice that which is easily explained by incompetence. Are we supposed to assume that the New York Magazine is actually trying to trick people into like, look, people see headlines, they don't read stories. So what happens when someone sees this headline of Trump posting a doctored video? Their assumption is going to be, even without reading the rest of it, is that Trump is trying to trick people, because that's what doctored means. If you read the story, you understand it was a parody. So either the journalist is really, really dumb, incompetent, or malicious. Which one do you pick? Well, typically we err on the side of incompetence, but it might be malicious because it's not just New York Mag doing it. There's a bunch of other outlets claiming that Trump is sharing this doctored video. Yes, he's trying to convince you there are two Joe Bidens and one's assaulting the other. Well, we have this story from the Daily Wire. Media attacks Trump over, quote, doctored Joe Biden video that's obviously a meme. Yes, Ash, but listen, I hear you. It's obviously meme, yes. But they can't meme, so they don't know what they're seeing. That's if we're going to assume incompetence. Left-wing media outlets continue to find new and more ridiculous ways to bash President Donald Trump. The latest example involves many of them, too many for it to be a coincidence, calling a silly meme of Joe Biden that Trump shared. They're calling it a doctored video. Alex Griswold of the Washington Free Beacon collected some of these examples, adding the snarky comment, wait. The video of Joe Biden coming up behind Joe Biden and massaging Joe Biden was doctored? Can anyone confirm this? Look, he's got a bunch of images. Let's actually pull it up. He's got a bunch of images of the various people. New York Magazine. That's the one that I already showed. And then we have Politico. Trump mocked Joe Biden by tweeting a doctored video. Oh, my God. I see that you are on the job as president, blah, blah, blah. CNN sharing physical interactions, a doctored video. Yes, we get it. So it's all doctored. His tweet included images of media outlets, including the phrase doctored video. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't know. What would you call it? A meme video? Just a video, right? Someone shared a video of Joe Biden essentially fondling himself. It was a parody and it was edited, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of, they got Time, USA Today, and Newsweek. Politico shifted slightly from whatever talking points were handed out to these media outlets, instead calling it an altered apology video in the headline. On Twitter, however, Politico used the phrase doctored video. Can I explain this to you guys? Listen. I really do see the two worlds, because I have been in the journo world, in the New York bubble, and I have been outside of that, hanging out with Trump supporters and conservative journalists who don't know, the bubbles don't overlap. But as someone who has been to both worlds, let me explain to you what's happening. There is no group or organization that sends out talking points. There are journalists, like, so it's interesting. This was a big controversy, I guess, during Gamergate, or not even during Gamergate, but before this, where it was Ezra Klein, I believe, put together a journo list, basically a big group of journalists who shared emails and talked to each other. This is what happens. Okay, I'm actually still in one on Facebook. I think I'm in two, having to do with digital technology and mobile, and it's like thousands of journalists, and they post stuff all day, every day, and it's an off-the-record group. So unless you're a journalist, you're not in these groups. Some of these groups, you can see kind of nefarious or malicious behavior. You can see activist chatter. More importantly, someone will post to one of these threads and say, what's up with this doctored video? Everyone sees it, and then they go, ooh, and they start writing about it. But guess what? The prominence of these journalists died with Twitter. There is no journalist anymore. There are just a big circle jerk of journalists following each other. So one of them tweets it, someone else grabs it and rewrites the story. Welcome to churnalism. Okay, that's what it's called, churnalism. C-H-U-R-N, not journ, churnalism. It's where they hire people for dirt salaries, young people out of college, have them sit in a room, Google search news articles, and then rewrite those articles basically verbatim. Like, you know, it's not plagiarism because they change the phrasing. Some of these articles will literally just quote. They'll grab a big chunk and say, today, Trump shared a doctored video as reported by New York Mag. And then they'll just quote a huge paragraph and drop it. And they put it on their website and they collect ad revenue off it. So why is everyone calling it a doctored video? Because someone who probably hates Trump, who's in one of these circle jerk spheres, posted the story on Twitter or in a thread somewhere, or just wrote a story about it. All the other journalists saw it, and then they all just march in a circle. It's a big game of telephone. They're all reading each other's news, and I'll tell you, it gets really hilarious because when I was working for Fusion, I remember this was a very funny moment for me. I'm sitting down doing my work, typing away, searching stories, planning travel, and I can hear an editorial meeting happening just like 10 feet from me. It's a bunch of people getting together. They're on the phone trying to figure out what stories they're going to cover today. Someone said they wanted to cover a story about this mysterious phenomenon on Imager, a website that collects images, about this weird image that keeps popping up. I overheard him say it, so I Google searched the story. What did I find? It was 6 months old, and it had been solved. There was no mystery. It was just essentially a 404 error, file not found, turned back, inadvertently pointed to one image. That was it. It was reported on and solved within like 1 day. Here's what happened, though. These journalists don't do research at all. So apparently what had happened is there was a conversation where this game of telephone persists. Apparently one journalist told another journalist, and then the rumor mill churned. None of them did any research, and it ended up with this one guy who was like, whoa, that's crazy. I should write about that. In literally 10 seconds of hearing him say that, I Googled it, and I'm like, this story is 6 months old and not even that interesting. Why are they writing about it now? Because Fusion hired somebody at a dirt salary to just churn out trash. And that's what they did. They don't have the ability to do Google search. You know what's really crazy to me, too? As a journalist, I know how to pull up the history of basically any person anywhere ever. I can find where you grew up, your address, I can find the name of your pets. I can even probably get your bank account information, okay? If you know how to do this stuff, this information is floating on the web, and not all of it's legit. Like we're mentioning like bank account information, that's really dangerous stuff. That's dark web stuff. As a journalist who does investigations, I have been to these, like, I know how this stuff kind of works. There's very easy ways to pull up your private information. I can, anybody who's doing investigations and trying to vet people should know how to find a phone number, for instance. These people don't. They really, really don't. I've worked in a couple different newsrooms that have kind of morphed, and lots of people have come in and out. And I've met 2 other journalists who actually know how to do background checks and vet people. Now, the bank account thing, that's an extreme example, right? But there is I've done a video about this. There's dark web sources that have crazy private information. If you don't know how to navigate, this digital world to do investigations, I don't know what you're writing about, but they apparently can't even Google search either. And that's why we end up with these completely insane headlines that persist in the exact same way. So let's read Griswold published his own article on the subject titled "Breaking: White House video of Joe Biden massaging Joe Biden is not real," and included an accurate definition of doctored for the apparently illiterate mainstream media. They're in a big circle. Listen, I have been, like when I worked at Vice, after one day somebody was like, "Hey, we're all going to the bar." And we go to this bar and there's like 20 other journalists from all these different organizations and we're all sitting around a table drinking. Like it's a big picnic table in like what do you call it? Like an outdoor seating area in a private space. And they're all talking and they're all saying the exact same things. So what happens the next day? They all write the exact same thing. This is what happens. It's a big, big circle jerk. Something changes when you leave this. Here I am, independent in my own space, away from all these people, and now I find my own news and my own sources, and I don't repeat the same nonsense they do. Granted, it takes a special kind of person to not know how to do research, but that's them, so I'll just leave it there. There you go. There's a breakdown of journalists posting nonsense to smear Trump, but I got a couple more videos coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you then.